Wellness and help everybody on your list be their very best. Receive a voucher for 2 free enhancements when you purchase $100 in Massage Envy gift cards. Massage Envy, making the best of everybody. See locations for details. Offer ends December 31st. Voucher valid until March 31st, 2019.
Visit Chattanooga's Massage Envy at Hamilton Place Mall and in the Target Shopping Plaza, Hickson.
Welcoming Warren and Griffin here to the advertising team at Nooga Radio. Right now, through the 31st of this month, they will match up to $1,000 any donation or contribution you make to the Fallen 5 Memorial. Now that is being a good community citizen.
The station you hear everywhere.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Good morning, beautiful people here in the city of Chattanooga. It's your girl Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. Y'all know what it is, so I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall to the mayor's office. Can't leave out the police department. From the Valley Low to the mountaintop, give you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm glad to be back in the flesh. Man, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas yesterday. Today is the first day of Kwanzaa for those who choose to celebrate Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa to those who celebrate. I'm grateful that introvert such as myself can get back to less crowds, less of the hustle and bustle, never distracted from the work, always thinking about how to help people. And today we're going to talk about two things in particular. I've asked those to come to help me display that we are still thinking about Mr. Charles Tony Jr. for interstate tax to certain portions of the community. We are still demanding justice for him, but also just for anyone else who has been impacted by police brutality and violence. And, you know, people have perceptions about what they think about me and police. And that's because they don't understand. They don't know me personally. They don't understand that a great uncle of mine integrated the Chattanooga Police Department. I can't hate police officers when a family member of mine gave other African-American people and other people of color and even women an opportunity to come on board because they endured being one of the first African-American people in a majority white male dominated field. And even now, it's still not a lot of women that are being encouraged to become police officers, and definitely not people of color. And one of the problems we're going to continue to have is if we don't have an even spread, an even makeup of people within the police department, as well as the sheriff's department that mirrors the city and the county, we're going to continue to have these problems. And then if we continue to have people who police neighborhoods and areas that they're not from and do not have a relationship with the community and have perceptions about people and community because they do not know people in that community, we're going to continue to have problems. And so the Chief Roddy can pat himself on the back talking about he's bolstering up people within the ranks. But if we don't have about 40% of African-American people that make up the police force, he's doing a poor job, because we are about 40% of the population in the city of Chattanooga, and we should be representative of that in our police force. We should have almost 40% of people working within city government, because that's what we make up as the African-American community in the city. It should be an even spread that is in line with the amount of citizens that we have in the city. And the same difference, if we make up about 13% of the county, that should be representative as far as the amount of African-American sheriffs that we have on duty. And until we begin to, first of all, just have people police the very communities that they're from, or vice versa, encourage there to be relationship. Relationship is the new currency, folks. And if we do not learn that lesson before 2019, I think we're going to make a lot of grave mistakes and errors that we do not have to make. But I think we have to be, it's not that I think, I know we got to be honest about what we've seen in 2018, because it hasn't been a very great year as far as the news that I've had to cover. I've had wonderful people on my show, and I'm sure 2019 is going to be, my show is going to be a platform for more people, for some hopefully some familiar folks and a lot of new faces that are going to continue to challenge us and connect us and educate us on a variety of subjects. But there is a huge but. The reality is that we have faced a lot of problems that have come from our law enforcement sector. And I do know, regardless of color, poverty breeds crime. And that's the truth. That's the truth. I know I can go into the depths of Appalachia to communities that are all white. And if there's not job opportunity, proper education and food and resources, I'm going to see meth. I'm going to see heroin. I'm going to see fentanyl. And I'm going to see crime and violence. And that's the country. That's Appalachia. It's no difference. Crime, lack of resources, lack of education, lack of skilled labor, lack of job opportunity will breed crime no matter what color you are. And the purpose of the Marie Mott Show is not just to talk about what happens to Black people. Even though a lot of things happen to us more disproportionately, the truth of the matter is that if we disappear, if I disappear, who's going to fight for you? Who's going to help you? We're all going through a lot of the same things, just differently, just in a different way. And people showing up, man, I'm so glad people are here, taking time out of their day to come here to the studio. It's still justice for interstate tax, but we have a lot of things that we have to talk about. 2019 has to be a year where we're reclaiming our time. That is, we can't afford to drag our feet about the business that we need to handle in our communities. You know, as much as I talk about police, yesterday, a young African-American man was gunned down by another young African-American man. And while the two are not the same, I'm still troubled by both of the problems, but I understand that poverty, again, lack of resources, lack of job opportunity, lack of training, it breeds crime. And that's across the board. In 2019, we got to reclaim our time. And I think that 2019, we got to stand up as community, regardless of where we're from, West Side, South Side, East Chat, don't matter to me. We all got something to fight for or something that we need in our community. Whether it's like Miss Tiffany Rankins, a legend that's right behind me, who's been fighting for a very long time, and she shouldn't have to at this point, right? Because we have a council person, we have a council person who promised to save Lincoln Park, and that hasn't happened, right? That hasn't happened yet. We still don't have an African-American historical community in the city of Chattanooga, not 1 out of 5. 2019, we're coming with receipts. Because by the time 2019 is up, 2020 is coming in, and y'all don't want to see me. When I say 2020 is going to be on and popping, 2019 is going to be on and popping, but 2020, I hope we're learning our lessons, that we're picking up things. Like, we cannot afford to have a repeat of what has happened this year. Like, 800-8949. Forgive me for not stating the fact that you can call me 423-800-8949. I am streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube. But before we're going to get into Mr. Charles Tony on the second half of the segment. But this first segment, I wanted to talk about disabled and homeless. I had an opportunity to walk with Mr. Monty Bell, the homeless journalist, a little bit through the area that's around the community kitchen. And there I met a lady who needs not only my help, but I'm petitioning my community to help me with a matter that is quite pressing. We know that our city is gearing up to start a program to impact homeless individuals. But a question and a story that I wanted to bring to your attention today is a lady named Joanne, who is not only homeless, but she is disabled and in a wheelchair. And I need the community's help because I want to get this lady off of the street. Right now, we have a large homeless and a growing homeless population in the city of Chattanooga. And don't take this petition as Marie Mott doesn't want to help anybody who's homeless other than Joanne. That's not what I'm asking. But what do you do when you are at an intersection, right? These intersections that we've talked about. The majority of people, a good portion of people who are homeless may not have a physical disability, but a lot of them have what we call invisible disabilities, such as mental disabilities. And I don't know who could help me with this, but I want to get Miss Joanne off of the street because I want you to, let me paint a picture for you. It's been particularly cold the last couple of weeks, of course, because it's winter. Now, I want you to imagine being homeless. You have no consistent place to stay, no consistent place to use the restroom. You have no consistent place to get 3 square meals a day. You have no consistency of being able, even especially near the downtown areas of the city, being able to move about without encountering police, which have the power to lock you up even though you're homeless. People, I want you to imagine, y'all know if you've gone down near the community kitchen, of course, the side streets, you have like Olivet Baptist Church that's on the backside, several churches that are surrounding the area. Anybody who's lived in the city knows that there's quite a bit of hills, right? That Chattanooga's, you can't go anywhere without going up or down a hill. I want you to think about if you're in a wheelchair, how difficult it would be for you to get from the community kitchen to Macaulay to Martin Luther King Boulevard. I want you guys to think about how difficult that is. I want you to think about a homeless person in a wheelchair, and that's their only means of being able to get around, and they do not have a consistent place to stay. And I want you to think about how difficult it is once those metal parts start getting cold and frozen, how it becomes even more difficult for you to be able to move your wheelchair. Yeah. I want you to think about a woman who's, I think she's in her 60s, that she's moving in the cold, no place to stay. She's still a woman. Who's going to help her use the bathroom? And where is she going to go if she's disabled? Somebody has to have a phone number or a contact or somewhere that I can go. Please, I need your help. This got to be the first thing going into, if I don't get her off the street by January the 1st, the first thing that I do at the beginning of the year, I want to get this beautiful African-American, disabled, homeless woman off of the street. And I need some help to do that. I need somebody to put me in contact with someone who has the power to either start a process somewhere where she can go. MARIEMOTT@gmail.com. That's MARIEMOTT@gmail.com. You can inbox the station. I'm ready to get this lady off the street because while the city is figuring it out, right? While they're figuring it out, because, you know, according to Mayor Burke, he ended homelessness, but now it's back. It's back stronger than ever. I don't know. I don't understand how that works. How you single-handedly ended homelessness, but now it's back with a vengeance. It's like you cured cancer and then again. Let me not bust the mayor's balls this early in the morning. Good morning. Talk to me. Hello. Hello. Caller, you'll have to call back, and please remember to turn the volume down in the background, please, if you're calling in. But it's important to talk about this stuff because while the city is trying to figure it out, guess what? There's still people out there in the cold, right down the street. The funny part is that these folks are legitimately a walking distance from the mayor's office. Good morning. Talk to me and turn the volume down in the background, please. Hello.
Hey, Mary. My name is Chrissy, and actually, I'm glad you're talking about this because tomorrow we are going to be on your show with Summer Cares, and our organization is out there to try to help not just the military veterans who are homeless, but also all the homeless people. And it starts with somebody like, Summer. We are going to be writing letters to our officials, federal, state, city, and see what we can do about getting these homeless people off the street.
Thank you. And I'm super excited about having Summer on. She is a teenager, you guys. A teenager has started an organization several years ago trying to help homeless people. And our city is just now, grown folk are just now getting around to addressing the issue that it's not enough housing. Quite funny, though, right? Because Tiffany Rankins, didn't we not request there to be housing in East Chat at the Harriet Tubman site?
We did. Yeah, we were pushing for as far as affordable housing at that time. And, the elected officials that were in place were telling all types of false tales, like babies had been put in microwaves and they wanted people ran out. Oh, yeah. And we were like, how can you displace people not knowing where they're going to go to? Yeah, so we dealt with that. But then again, they tore it all down because, the bricks were very good. The roofing was very good in that place. And they had a developer that wanted to invest, I think it was like $4 or $6 million and make it a mixed unit.
$6 million. You mean the same amount of money of taxpayer dollars that they put into Miller Park?
Oh, yeah. But they wasn't going for that. I mean, they have someone there that was running the neighborhood association at that time, Mr. James Moreland, and he brought a bunch of old folks, older people, senior people, in a bus to go along with what he wanted to do.
Now, it's interesting that the city now wants to get involved in supposedly curing the ails of homelessness. Because it's getting hard in a mid-sized city. This is not Los Angeles or Miami where it's easy for you to not see the homeless. This is a mid-sized city, which means that if we only have like 170,000 people, but we have like 5,000 people that are homeless that are living it downtown, of course, that's impossible to ignore in a city that's kind of as small as Chattanooga, even though we want to act like Chattanooga is not small. Chattanooga is small compared to most cities in the United States. It's a small town. We had, how many acres was it?
Ooh, I'm thinking 5 acres. I'm not for sure, but it was a big lot of property. And, we did go into that saying, hey, it is already 3,000 or 4,000 people that are basically homeless, living in extended stays, living with families who wants to live in the city of Chattanooga. However, our request was denied.
See why I talk about stuff like this on my show? Because you're not going to get the real when you watch the regular news. They're just going to tell you that the Unity Group and East Chattanooga, we showed up, and all we want is we just don't want M1. What they won't tell you is that we didn't want a manufacturing zoning for Harriet Tubman. It was because it was an open space. They tore down the housing projects, which was just open, publicly owned land that we could actually put housing in for people all throughout. Several acres of public owned land now has the ability to have manufacturing and trucks and all this unnecessary stuff that people in the neighborhoods where I'm from, the district I live in, we didn't even want, which has directly impacted the reason why we have a rising homeless population, simply because of the fact, number one, we don't have enough housing. It's not even affordable. But number two, we're not building any more housing hardly at all. Y'all better stay tuned for the second half of the segment where we're going to be talking about it's still justice for interstate tax. We're not going anywhere. We have not gone anywhere. We might have had a brief interlude called the holidays, but it's still justice for my man H Boogie. Y'all stay tuned for the second half of the segment.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A Florida man sets fire to a Chattanooga Walgreens. Reports say Jeffrey Cotton from Orlando set fire to a Walgreens bathroom, the location on Gun Barrel Road. Manager said the sprinkler system was triggered and went to see what was going on. He told police that Cotton was found cowering in the restroom, saying he had set the fire because people were after him. Cotton's bond was set at $100,000. The Tri-County VFD responded to a fire on Quail Mountain Drive. The firefighters say it spread from the chimney. Nobody was hurt. Cause of the fire under investigation. And the USGS reports 19 earthquakes hit Tennessee in December alone. The most powerful, a 4.4 magnitude quake, which hit Decatur on the 12th. Decatur saw the most earthquakes of all the areas hit, with 10 reported at or near the Tennessee city. Tennessee sits on top of 2 fault lines. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Hey folks, Jeff Stiles here, talk radio host and infamous technophobe. But I got to tell you, this Facebook Live that Nooga Radio does, it makes sense to me. It really does. Now, we're at 92.7 on the FM dial, but really where you need to go is NoogaRadio.com and just do the streaming audio, 8 to 10 a.m. The first hour is mostly just me just throwing commentary in on top of the news. The second hour is me frustrating and irritating you beyond all belief. NoogaRadio.com. Don't miss it. Every weekday.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
You want more business. You want to increase your bottom line. You want to spend less on advertising, imaging your business, and general expenses. You need Trade Bank. When you join Trade Bank, you'll get the benefit of free advertising in our monthly magazine, TradeBank.com, emails, and mailouts. Join Trade Bank now and receive your Trade Bank debit card with trade credits to spend any way you want. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call now for a free consultation. 877-2202. That's 877-2202. Trade Bank of Chattanooga.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga roofing contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your sandwich speaking. Yeah, your sandwich. And you know, you can't find me any place but the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop. Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off 153 on Shaliford Road. It's in the little plaza. Hey, check out these buns. Yeah, they're Amorosa, all the way from Philly. So bite me. You want a real Philly cheesesteak? Check out my meat. Throw some cheese on it and grilled onions. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Only at the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, where you'll always get the real taste of a Philadelphia cheesesteak. Plus hoagies, burgers, sandwiches, salads, fresh cut fries, tater tots, and other stuff. Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off 153 on Shaliford Road, right across from Mountain View Service Center. It's in the little plaza. Hey, come on, we're waiting for you here. So just shut up and eat it.
A Massage Envy gift card might just be the best holiday gift ever because it unwraps all the benefits of total body care, including massage and total body stretch, customizable facials, and advanced skincare services, including microderm infusion and chemical peels. Share the gift of wellness and help everybody on your list be their very best. Receive a voucher for 2 free enhancements when you purchase $100 in Massage Envy gift cards. Massage Envy, making the best of everybody. See locations for details. Offer ends December 31st. Voucher valid until March 31st, 2019.
Visit Chattanooga's Massage Envy at Hamilton Place Mall and in the Target Shopping Plaza, Hickson.
Expect some sunshine and nice weather out there for your afternoon. A little milder highs in the upper 50s to near 60. Tonight, some more clouds will roll through, lows into the lower to middle 40s. Cloudy and breezy Thursday with a few scattered showers, highs stuck into the 40s. Rain Thursday night through Friday morning. Celebrate the new year with Dixieland Fireworks. Locally owned with the largest selection around. A Black Cat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks just off I-75 on Ringgold Road in East Ridge. And I'm Sorrentine 12 Sheep here. I'll get back to 4.
The radio 92.7.
It's that familiar voice. You know who it is. It's Marie Mott with Marie Mott Show. That's right. I got the hottest show on the air, period. No need to argue. I know Jeff Styles would say that just because he's been doing it longer than I have, he's got me beat. But that's okay. Jeff, I'm coming for you. You just don't know it. I'm glad to be back the day after Christmas. I'm hoping everyone had a happy holiday season. I'm grateful to everyone who tuned in, not only yesterday with my Christmas playlist, but on Monday where I talked about, I was very intentional, getting through the holiday season, grieving. Because everybody's not happy about the holidays. There are a lot of people who have loved ones that have gone on to the other side. And sometimes it's tough without them. So if you didn't check out that video, please go to the Nuga Radio 92.7 FM Facebook page and check that out. So I put the request out there, and that's okay. You know, the good thing about coming from the church sector is you don't get caught up in numbers. It's always kind of hard getting people out of bed, you know, the next day after a holiday. Everybody's not in the mood. They don't want to get out in the cold. Right? They've shopped until they drop. And so even though it's not a lot of people here, it's still people here. And I'm grateful for those who took time out of their day to come here, like Miss Gina. Yeah. And Miss Tiffany Rankins, who is with the Unity Group, as well as historic, good morning, bro, historic Lincoln Park Neighborhood Association. I've had her several times on the show. I can't wait till 2019 when she's able to single-handedly kick the city of Chattanooga in the chest and make them turn Lincoln Park into a historical African-American neighborhood. Which should have happened a long time ago. I do not know why. Why do we have people that love fighting the community? I don't get that. As much as people talk about how we're disunified, it's really not. It's not too much of that. It's still some that exists. But there are a lot of neighborhoods. There are a lot of organizations. There are a lot of entities throughout this city that are together on a lot of stuff. The Unity Group is a perfect example of people who've come from every corner of the city, right? And talk about different things and strategize on things like education, housing, police brutality, what's going on with the commissioners, what's going on at the city council. And so I'm grateful that I have people here that are here to talk about justice for interstate tax. So I know that the both of you guys you guys probably have seen it. It went viral. You guys saw the videos, correct?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, we did.
And so, like Miss Rankins, like you're born and raised in Chattanooga. For those who've, never heard your voice on the show, have you seen different things like this throughout Chattanooga's history? Is this something new? Explain to the listener, like how you felt about seeing this happen to a young man, and does this kind of play into Chattanooga's history?
Oh yeah, this is what Chattanooga is. They say a lot of times this is not what Chattanooga is. However, this is what Chattanooga has always done. I've heard about the brutality. I can speak mainly from my mom as far as, don't go too far here, don't go too far there. Please don't go up on Sand Mountain. And, we were forbidden from don't go in East Ridge, which I'm in East Ridge now. Don't go in East Ridge because of the police brutality that happened in the cities. So yeah, it's been here all my life. And I'm not for sure if the female get maybe a little pass more than men, or the guys, and they tell their young guys no more than 2 in the car. We don't want to see a car full of 4. Don't ride 4 or more in the car, and they have a book as far as how you should travel in the city of Chattanooga by being Black.
Miss Gina, you saw the video, correct?
I did.
And how did that make you feel, even though you're not from the city of Chattanooga, how did that make you feel being from a close surrounding area, seeing that happen to Mr. Charles Tony Jr.?
Well, it definitely... it just made me very, very irate to see that they went to the extent that they did to do this to this man when he was handcuffed. I mean, anybody could watch the video and see that that was not supposed to happen at all. And then being somebody who is not in the city of Chattanooga, I am looking to come to the city. And so it concerns me that these leaders are not doing what we know should be done automatically. He should be fired, period. He should be brought, criminal charges should be brought against him, period, because that would happen to any citizen at all, whether it was on citizen or whatever, and then you have the police here who are just held to just way higher standards than us as regular people. But where is the accountability for them?
Amen.
It's not there.
Accountability, that is a favorite word of mine, because one of the things that, it's my personal opinion, is that if you want to fight me on, Marie, you need to respect officers with the badge, then I'm gonna fight you back on saying that people with the badge got to respect people who don't have one. So just because you have a badge and your job is to, first of all, let's understand, policing people is a job. It's a job. And can you go on your job? Now, I've worked in customer service the majority of my professional career. And even just working at a cell phone company, I couldn't hang up on people if I want to. People could talk crazy to me and I couldn't talk crazy back to them. So just dealing with the public, I understood that I've worked in call centers. I've worked with people, customer service face to face. And of course, you're going to have those terrible customers. But your job is to still give great customer service and to represent the company with decency and respect. And the moment you can't respect the public, guess what? You lose your job. And so I've worked behind the scenes and right there out front. And I've dealt with some of the most irate, ridiculous customers, people coming in. I think maybe we need police officers to legitimately work for a call center for like 6 months and see how they like people just talking to them crazy, not even putting their hands on them, and see how it drives you absolutely nuts just having somebody who's never met you talking to you and treating you any kind of way. And so the first thing is that the relationships are not going to get better between community and police if the police don't walk up to everybody, not particular kinds of folks, not based on what area they're coming from, not based on what language they speak, not based on what kind of car they drive, not based on what the color of their skin is. The fact that that's a human being and they approach them with decency and respect, you'd be surprised. You might get it back.
Yeah. If they approach everyone with a servitude attitude, I think more things will get accomplished by them. However, they have this arrogance, entitled. It's an awful attitude that they have. That I'm right and you're wrong, and here he goes.
Exactly. Like there's no leniency, there's no flexibility, there's no understanding. It's just my way or the highway, and it's not supposed to be that, right?
Unless you're on live PD.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I think one of the reasons why this culture continues, number one, is because they have lived in a society where police used to be able to do this and it was your word against theirs. Now everybody and their mama got a cell phone. And so now, as David Tula says, everybody's a member of the press. So now you have people who can break out their phones and start recording. And now it's not your word against theirs. People can see it straight there in color. But the thing that was still even perplexing through all of this is to have this still be on video.
Yeah.
Thankful to a hero, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Shantae. You are really the hero, because I don't think people understand this young lady stated on the news that she watched the beating for 3 minutes before her brain told her to start recording. So what we saw as community was still only a fraction of what happened.
Yeah, and the thing is, they have the little cop cam. Has that ever been shown?
Nope.
And I was just surprised how my Commissioner Mackey hadn't asked for that as far as being over this and wanted to come to the community and speak with us.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to the people.
Merry Christmas. And Marie, you know, the slogan of the radio station is you report.
The world decides. Yep.
Because everyone's a reporter. But you know what? And you know I'm a conservative, but
I know
I'm a realist. And watch live PD. And I just, you know, even people around me over this past year, their eyes have been opened. Where they were just staunch, no matter what the police do, their eyes have been opened because of the video camera. But when you watch live PD, every single black person, up until maybe a week or two ago, that was pulled over, was pulled out of the car and handcuffed. Everyone. And of course, they're sniffing their underwear. They're smelling, you know, because they need money, so they smell for drugs. I think I smell weed. Bring in the dogs. They're always sniffing. It's like, you know what? Throw a pair of dirty underwear. Let them sniff that. You know, go get a bank robber or wear that little bit of weed in the car. All right. On top of that, I saw one episode, and I'm not exaggerating. This pretty little white blonde in the Northeast was pulled over, and she's a little tipsy. They drove her home. They drove her home. If it was a black or maybe we'd be buried under the jail. But you know, as the episodes go on, they realize people are seeing this. Now they're changing their tone when they're on TV. Because when it first came on, did you guys watch live PD when it first came on?
I have not.
You didn't?
No, I haven't.
Any one of your guests?
No, I haven't.
Here and there.
Oh,
I try not to entertain myself with
You
watching
got to watch it on A&E. You have Marie. You've got to watch this show, and you can see how everyone is treated differently. Watch the older shows. It's live. It's like they're following 6 police stations all over the country live on Friday and Saturday nights. And we got that like 60 cameras going, and you'll look at the interaction, and your jaw will drop.
And
it's right there in front of anyone's face. You can't deny it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think really what needs to start happening, and thank you so much for your comments, is besides just the beating, I think people really, especially from the neighborhoods that I'm from, the neighborhoods that my family is from, even when we're pulled over, I think we just need to start recording what is happening. Because I don't think most people outside of majority communities of color understand that it's nothing uncommon to have 4 African-American men, and you talked about it earlier, that there's like these rules being a child of color that you learn growing up about all the things that you cannot even potentially do once you leave the household, because it's possible something is going to happen to you just because you're African-American. So you can't have a car packed with your friends because they're automatically going to assume, especially if they're male, y'all are on y'all way to go rob somebody or just came back from robbing somebody.
Yep.
You got drugs in the car. Somebody in the mix is a drug dealer. And everybody, it's not uncommon. I've seen this almost all my life. It's not uncommon to have 4 black brothers in a cutlass. And they automatically assume because of certain cars as well, or if it got rims, or if they're playing the music loud, these are gangbangers. It's not uncommon to see every one of those young brothers handcuffed on the side of the road. I'm telling you, I've seen this so many times. I can't count on both hands and feet how many times I've seen this throughout my life.
Yep, and just hopefully everyone survives that night.
Exactly. I can't tell you that living in East Ridge, because I used to live in East Ridge, 606 Belvoir Avenue. Living in East Ridge, I can't tell you. And people just wouldn't believe me. And that's the crazy thing. I got pulled over by East Ridge police after my dad bought a brand new quad cab Ram truck with the tailgate and the tail and awesome truck. He still has it. The car he taught me how to drive in. My daddy taught me how to drive in a truck. He said if you could drive a truck, you could drive anything. And he sent me probably on a grocery store run or something like that because I thought I was going to be free once I learned how to drive. It was slavery. Children, please don't do it. Don't rush to drive. Like I know your parents are going to send you to get everything. Please believe me. So, I'm thinking like, oh, I got my unrestricted driver's license. Ooh, I'm going to be rolling. Nope. Like you going to get groceries. You picking up your sister from this practice or that practice. You're doing everything. It's like, man, I didn't even think it was going to be like this. And I was on my way home. I kid you not, on my way home. And I got pulled over, not because I was speeding, not because I didn't even have any music on. I got pulled over. And the first question this police officer asked me, whose truck is this? I'm confused. Like, black people can't have nice stuff? Are you from this area? Let me see your driver's license. So my driver's license says 606 Belvoir Avenue. It's right up the road. Like, it was a 2-minute drive. I was 2 minutes away from home. I said, this truck belongs to my father. Let me see the registration. Okay, I give him the registration. He's just perplexed. Like he knew I stole that truck. Like people just don't understand. I'm not saying that maybe stuff doesn't happen to people who are not of color, but it's so common. If it wasn't so common, we wouldn't have to have these adolescent conversations growing up about how the world is going to perceive you and your blackness. And really the feeling, the underlying tone is that no matter how much your mama and your daddy and your grandma and your aunts and your uncles love you, the world doesn't. The world doesn't. And even though your family doesn't see you as a threat, the world does. And that is crazy. And the perplexing thing was that even with the video, us seeing this man in handcuffs, first he's thrown on the car, then he's thrown on the ground, and the guy's got his knee in the guy's chest. And then he tosses him over, starts punching him. And then, as if that didn't wear him out enough, he kicks him and then has the audacity to say that he bit him. And people still, after seeing all of that, I've had people like controversial fraudster businessman Henry Lucan stalking my Facebook page. I offered him a platform. See, this is what I do to folks who want to be scrubs. I don't mind anybody who has an opposing opinion about me or anything else like that. But especially when we're talking about people's lives or things going on in my neighborhood or in the city of Chattanooga that affect people, you got an opposing view, come spar with me on the mic in front of tens of thousands of listeners and see if your point is proven. Talking about Blake Kilpatrick was a good officer. He wasn't even good in real life. I mean, to find out this man was so jealous, he chased his own girlfriend down in a car and made her crash. Kicked in her parents' house. Like, can you imagine somebody kicking in your door?
No.
Over your daughter?
Oh, no. There's no accountability. There's no accountability.
And how does, like, nobody asked the question, how does the sheriff not find all of this stuff out in a background check before hiring this officer to begin with? Because he had left Meigs County and came over to Hamilton County. And this is another reason why we have to address and clean up our law enforcement, because we're potentially allowing officers to beat the crap out of people here or rape them or kidnap them or do stuff to them here. And then, they can just resign and go be an officer somewhere else.
Oh, it's so much nepotism also in the city of Chattanooga. Their daughters are being hired, their friends. It's just so much nepotism, Instead of hiring good, qualified individuals, they rather hire someone like Mr. Kilpatrick, who has all his baggage with him.
Me personally, it just brings the question of what is all the other officers within the department? What is their personal views of this? I would love to know.
Good morning. Talk to the people.
Good morning, love. What is cracking? It's your boy, C. Grimy.
Hey, what's up, Grimy?
What is up? I wanted to be there so bad. I got called in duty at the library.
It's okay. Talk to the people.
Man, just to your point, I work with a lot of the youth in the community, and by the age of 15, 16, every one of them has had a negative encounter with the police, even before then. As an adolescent, we have to have two talks. We have to have the talks about coming into your orientation in your body, and then we have to have a talk about how society is going to perceive you. How you're going to be looked at just for the color of your skin. And to our county commissioners, our NAACP members, to not have our backs and to side with the sheriff and be having press conferences, that is unacceptable. And we as the people, the community, especially the young people, we have to continue to do things like you're doing on your platform.
Appreciate
all
you,
these
brother.
people out.
Thank you. I love you guys.
Come together.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A Florida man sets fire to a Chattanooga Walgreens. Reports say Jeffrey Cotton from Orlando set fire to a Walgreens bathroom, the location on Gun Barrel Road. Manager said the sprinkler system was triggered and went to see what was going on. He told police that Cotton was found cowering in the restroom, saying he had set the fire because people were after him. Cotton's bond was set at $100,000. The Tri-County VFD responded to a fire on Quail Mountain Drive. The firefighters say it spread from the chimney. Nobody was hurt. Cause of the fire under investigation. And the USGS reports 19 earthquakes hit Tennessee in December alone. The most powerful, a 4.4 magnitude quake, which hit Decatur on the 12th. Decatur saw the most earthquakes of all the areas hit, with 10 reported at or near the Tennessee city. Tennessee sits on top of 2 fault lines. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM. Nooga Radio, digital